This topic has been coming up so much this week as I've been talking to people. So I've got a question for you that I want you to just lean into and ask yourself, okay? How comfortable do you feel with money? Even talking about money, even be mentioning money right now. And now some people go, well, I don't really know how I feel about it. Like, I don't know. I feel nothing for it. But if I were to ask you, how much money do you make? Would you tell me? Or would you be like, If I asked to see your bank statement so I could see how you spend your money, would you show me? When I first started studying this material, I'm serious. I did not feel comfortable talking about money at all. I remember my coach asking me like how much money I made, and I was like, what is going on here? Like, why is this chick asking me this? How is this even a thing? But as a result, guess what? I never really had very much money. Like I was making like 100K at the hospital, but I was also spending 102 every year. Okay, I was always just, and the more money I made, the more money I would spend. Right? When I started to get comfortable with the idea of money and started looking at like what is money and what is it not, it was like magic. Everything changed. And before I knew it, I got to a point where I was like, I never have to worry about not having money ever again. Because I know where it comes from. I know what it is. And I don't think about it the way I used to think about it. So assess yourself. Can you see yourself being in a position of never having to worry about money ever again? Like, really think about that. Because your answer to that question will help you to begin to understand how comfortable you are with money currently. Okay, if you can easily see yourself enjoying the abundance and financial freedom, I hear that all the time. I want time freedom, financial freedom. People say it all the time. That's amazing. However, if you feel uncomfortable with that idea for any reason, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where it came from. I mean, you hang out with the people that raised you for 2 seconds, you'll know exactly where it came from. And it's not good or bad. Remember, everybody's doing the best they can with their current level of awareness. Okay, so yeah, I hang out with my family sometimes. And I'm like, oh, there's where my money beliefs came from. It's not a bad thing or a good thing. It just is. But guess what? Now I'm like this grown ass adult. And at some point, I had to say, okay, but I don't want to believe that about money anymore because I want to actually enjoy it and I want to have it. Okay. If you feel uncomfortable, you can make that decision too. And although when I work with my clients, we look at 8 aspects of our lives because I want people to live a whole life. Okay. So we look at 8 aspects of life to dive into, and finances is just one of them. Okay. So yes, I encourage people to have money as a goal, right? But money is not the goal. Money's not the goal. Your weight is not the goal. The relationship you desire is not the goal. The goal is who you become in the process. I mean, like it or not, money's going to have a greater influence on your life than any other commodity that you can think of. This is why I say to people, I want you to have a money goal. Oh, but I don't want to have a money goal. I don't really care about it. Oh, sure. Sounds good. I still want you to have one. So it would really help you and serve you well if you developed a healthy attitude towards money. I used to not have a healthy attitude towards money. I thought that money didn't grow on trees and money was the root of all evil. Not only do you need it to live the life that you want to live, but you can use it to do so much good in this world. Like now, when I think of money, I think of all that I can give with it. I can pass someone on the street and want to give them money, but it's like, oh, I don't have any. Or a charitable cause comes knocking on my door that I want to give to, and I want to give to it. I want to give it all. But let me tell you something. Wealthy people never feel uncomfortable when the subject of money comes up. And you might think, and this is what I used to think, like, oh, well, of course they're not uncomfortable with it. It's because they have it. But that's not actually why. People don't feel comfortable about money because they have it. They have it because they feel comfortable about it. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. Write it down if you need to. Okay, people don't feel comfortable about money because they have it. They have it because they feel comfortable about it. It's not some wishing well. It's not some anomaly. It's not it's not something that's limited. One of the reasons wealthy people have money is because they have developed a prosperity consciousness or a money consciousness. Okay, and this is the only reason you don't have the money that you want to have right now is because you're not aware of how to get it. When I was thinking 100K a year thoughts, I had 100K a year because that's what I was constantly thinking of. Until one day I said, what if I could earn 100K in a month versus 12 months? So I started thinking $1 million thoughts instead of $100,000 thoughts. Okay, and it honestly can be that easy. It's much easier than you think. Okay, so here's a fun exercise that I want you to do to start feeling more comfortable with money right here, right now. Okay, for the next month, I want you to carry around some money. Okay, and again, this wasn't something that I ever did. The moment I got my first debit card, I was like, ooh, and now I don't even need to do that. I can just tap, right? But I want you to get the amount of money that you would like to see more of. So if you want to see more 20s in your wallet, or grab some 20s. If you want to see more 50s, grab some 50s. If you want to see more hundreds, grab some hundreds. Okay, you get to decide. I encourage you to go for the $100 bill, even a few of them. And I want you to put it on the outside of maybe some smaller bills. Maybe you got a couple fives in there, maybe a 10. I want you to put the 100 on the outside. Okay. And even if you need to like make it thicker, like make a wad of money, even grab some like paper, cut it to the size of dollar bills and like stuff it on the inside. Okay. Now put the money in your pocket, your purse, your wallet, wherever you go to grab your money. Okay. Don't spend the money. Just carry it with you. And every now and then, I want you to pull it out. I want you to look at it. I want you to start counting it, like literally count it. And the more you carry it and play with it, the more comfortable you'll start to feel with it. The other day with a group of my clients, we were talking about money. Money's just been like the topic this week. That's why I wanted to go live with you guys today. And I put out a challenge to them. I said, I want you to even just think about $100 bill. Like picture $100 bill. If you haven't seen one for a while, just Google a picture of it and like focus on it. Focus on it. And every single one of them manifested $100 bill that day. Every single one of them. Some found it. They were like, oh, I went to go pull out my spring coat from last year and there was $100 bill in it. Or I went and I was cleaning out my car and I found $100 bill. Or another one, a neighbor popped by and was like, here's the $100 that I said that I would give to you. And it was from like years ago, but it was that specific day. Okay. I can't make this stuff up if I tried. And like, who deals in cash these days? Not a lot of people. Yet they all found $100. Like, I love this exercise. What it does is it helps to build out a new image of like your new image of yourself, where you have enough money that you no longer even have to think about it. Right? When you do this for just 30 days, what you do is you're starting to convince your subconscious mind that you are wealthy. Like initially you're going to be like, oh, it's just $100 and the other money's fake, or the other money is fives or whatever. Like that's initially what you don't have to believe it initially. But what happens is as you continue to expose yourself to it, it'll start showing up in your life. Your subconscious mind will automatically seek more ways of making your imaginary, your image of wealth manifest into its material form. Your job is to have the money and start playing around with it. Start playing around with it, but you need to shatter the pattern that you're currently in. And I get it. I know the pattern you're in. If you're just like, maybe you're like, I don't even have $100 that I can like do this exercise with. Grab a 50 then. Borrow $100 for the month. Say I will pay you back in a month because you will have multiple of them. The key though is in the feeling of it. It's putting yourself in the frequency of what $100 is. I know that you are capable of earning whatever amount that you want. I know this. However, if you don't believe that it's true, you are going to place some artificial limit on the amount of money that you can earn. That's the only reason you earn what you earn right now. And chances are you probably earn around, if not maybe a little bit more than what your parents earned, or the average of the people that you surround yourself with. When I started hanging out with people that were earning $1 million, I started collecting evidence. I was like, oh, like this actually exists. People can earn millions of dollars a year. Huh. I was never exposed to that before. If you don't believe it's true, you are going to put yourself in this box. And I know I've mentioned before the like fleas. Fleas can jump like 6 inches, even up to like 10 inches, 15 inches. Okay. But they did an experiment where they put them in a jar, put them in a lid, and they could only jump 3 inches for a whole month or a whole week. I think it was even just a week. And then they took the lid off, and guess what? The fleas only jumped 3 inches. They couldn't jump any higher because they had put this lid on themselves, and then they got in the habit of only jumping 3 inches. So that it never crossed their mind that, oh, I actually can have a quantum leap. I actually could jump way higher than that. It was never even on their radar. Whatever amount you have in your mind right now, even initially, you might be like, okay, like, and just come up with an amount. And maybe you're just like, okay, it's the amount that's going to like pay off all my stuff. And maybe it'll take me on that vacation. Cool. Whatever motivates you. You do you. But it's time to take yourself out of the jar, because whatever you're earning right now is like a fraction of what you're capable. Don't let anybody tell you what you're capable of earning. The only reason you're earning right now, what you're earning, is because it's a habit. I was in a habit of earning 100K a year until I became in the habit of earning 100K a month. You literally have no limits. When people earn more money, it's not because they printed more. We just live in this world where we've normalized what's a good paying job or what's a whatever. Okay. Money comes through service. It's an energy. And there's a frequency of $10 and there's a frequency of $10,000 and there's a frequency of $10 million. But you'll limit the amount of good that you can do for others through your service, through limiting what your belief is around money, because money comes through service. When I started changing the way I thought about money, my service changed. Like how I serve people, what I can give, the partnerships that I've come up with that offer even more service is incredible. And it's not because I found the money. The last thing I want you to do is limit the amount of good that you can do to others. If you want to take a quantum leap that shatters the pattern of making incremental increases in your income, you have to put some additional effort into developing a consciousness that attracts in prosperity so that you can be on the frequency of that. You do that through building this idea of wealth and abundance into how you do things. And you do this by thinking about and feeling. Feeling is the secret, you guys. What would it feel like? So get a number in your head. Say you're like, I just want to earn 100K a year. Awesome. What would it feel like to earn 100K a year? What would it feel like? Not just when you pull your money out and play with it, but think about it all the time. Really get quiet and go inside. Like, not inside your house, like inside of you. Minimum 5 minutes a day. I would love to see you do 5 minutes 3-4 times a day. But feel as though you already have wealth and prosperity. And when you feel wealth and abundance, you will invoke these, it's like these magical powers within you, and you attract it in. Like my clients that were finding $100 bills, they attracted those circumstances in. And you might say, well, it was just, they just happened to go into their coat pocket and find the $100, or they just happened to clean out their car. If you keep thinking that things happen by accident, again, you've gone as far as you're ever going to go. I mean, you do you, but you've gone as far as you're ever going to go. You keep scratching your lottery tickets and hoping for the best. I wish you luck. If you desire to create your own luck, your own circumstances, try my challenge. Choose wealth. Your subconscious mind, it magnifies whatever you deposit in it and impress upon it. Whether it is an idea of wealth or whether it's the idea of earning whatever it is that you earn plus 2%, your 2% increase you get every year. You can do 2% increase, you can do 100%. What would that look like? How would that feel? But while you're doing this, really fall in love with the idea. Choose the words. Like picture and feel abundance, but then also use affirmations that resonate with you to help you develop this prosperity consciousness. Okay, don't just choose like random phrases. You want phrases, you want affirmations that are going to put you in the frequency. Choose phrases that when you say them, they make you feel good. There's an amazing affirmation. Bob Proctor gave this one years ago. He said, I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Write that one down. I wrote it down years ago and I still say it to myself every single day. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. And initially, you might not believe it, but the more you say it, the more you impress it upon yourself, watch it happen. And you might say, but I've done affirmations in the past and they didn't work for me. If you've used affirmations in the past and nothing happened, it's probably because of one or possibly both of what I'm about to tell you. The first one is your affirmation produced a mental conflict within you. So when you say things like, I am prosperous, and then you think, this is stupid, it's never going to happen, your subconscious mind is going to reject the affirmation. Because your subconscious mind, it accepts what you really feel to be true, not just the words or statements that you say. Okay, the dominant idea or belief, that's what goes into your subconscious mind. And then that's what's executed through your body. Okay, so choose or create affirmations that are going to build new ideas without setting off this alarm in your subconscious mind. So I'm so happy and grateful that my income is increasing day by day in every way. Every day it's increasing. For every dollar I spend, 2 comes back to me. And next, second point, is you want to make sure that you're planting this new idea in nutrient-rich soil. Okay, because your affirmations that you say, and people tell me all the time, I'm saying my affirmations. I Googled it and I'm saying my affirmations. You got to understand, affirmations, they're seeds, right? So we're in spring right now. Well, I'm not, I'm in summer always, but like spring, think of the garden in your backyard. Okay, like probably 2 weeks ago, it looked awful. It was starting to grow in. There was weeds all over it. It just looked awful. And you said, I'm going to plant some seeds so I can start my garden. But you didn't just throw the seeds out there haphazardly in a plot of land full of weeds. You went in and you plucked the weeds and you turned up the soil. Maybe you added some fertilizer. You prepared the garden. Then you planted the seeds. Because what's going to happen if you plant a bunch of seeds in a garden that's full of weeds? The weeds are going to choke out the seeds and you're just not going to get an abundant harvest. Every farmer knows this. If you are going to prepare the proper atmosphere for them to grow in, understand your mind is the exact same thing. It is the most fertile soil on the planet. And before you start planting all these seeds of abundance, you got to pull some weeds first. You got to get rid of any of the negative thoughts that are bringing you down so that your seed doesn't grow. Because what happens is you're just like a plot of land. It doesn't care whether you plant a row of corn and a row of nightshade, which is a deadly poison. Like, it doesn't care. It'll grow it as long as it's given what it needs. And your subconscious mind's been doing the exact same thing. So if you've been saying for your entire life, money doesn't grow on trees, money's the root of all evil, money, people that have money are selfish, whatever. Like, or you knew somebody that came into money and then they got divorced, and now you associate in your mind, even though logically you know that money doesn't equal the divorce, you might associate it with that. Okay, if you don't get rid of those weeds, you can be saying your affirmations so you're blue in the face, but you have all this other stuff to work through. The more you choose to think thoughts that make you feel good, the quicker the affirmation will work. But while you are becoming comfortable with money and building your new consciousness, I really encourage you to refrain from talking to people about what you're doing. Well, I was overcoming my money paradigms. I didn't talk, I barely even talked to Dave about it. Only when he noticed that when his money paradigms would come in, because really, like, we had been feeding off each other's money paradigms for years, like years. I would sit there and I'd be in my head, like, rejecting basically everything that he was saying. And finally, he called me out on it. Nobody knew what I was doing. Because hearing negative comments from people who don't understand the truth are not going to help you. You can love them, but more well-meaning family members that are just being honest and are just telling the truth and are only doing it for your own good have squashed more dreams than not. Okay, if it does anything, it will only cause you to start doubting yourself. It's not up to them to be in love with what you desire. It's up to you to be in love with what you desire. So as you're doing this, don't even talk to them about it. Because when you think about you and money, you want this beautiful picture to fly into the screen of your mind. That's what you want. Not, well, what's my mom going to think? And what's my spouse going to think? And what's my sister going to think? And no, don't worry about them. They'll thank you after because they'll reap the benefits of you not thinking about what you don't want. Okay, but your goal can't be, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm out of debt, because your subconscious mind hears debt. And there's a frequency to debt, and you will attract more of it in. If you are going, but how do I pull these weeds? Guys, this is exactly what I do with people. I'm a gardener. I'm a professional weed puller. Reach out. Let's talk about it. I'll give you some tips on how to pull some weeds in your subconscious mind so that you can actually start getting what you want. And it doesn't matter. It's the same process, whether it's money or health or relationships or whatever, business, it doesn't matter. Same process. Awesome. Go do the challenge. Be prosperous, be abundant. It gets to be fun and it gets to be easy. Bye, you guys.